I don't know about you guys, but to me, Colin Kaepernick is done. I mean, let me just say this as a general rule. There are a lot of kids out there who listen to us as they go into school in the morning, parents with their kids in the car. We understand you're starting off your day all over the country. I give my kids pretty basic advice, and this is the same advice that I'd give all the kids that are out there right now. If you get an interview, treat the interview with respect for a job that you want. What do I mean by treat the interview with respect? I mean, come in with your haircut. Come in dressed in the best possible clothing that you have for the job that you're interviewing for. Treat an opportunity to get a job with respect. I don't think Colin Kaepernick treated his opportunity, which was created, it appears, by Jay-Z and Roger Goodell, to get a job with respect. Okay? You show up in a Kunta Kinte t-shirt for your workout. If you are already known for inflammatory reasons, among them, I'm going to wear a shirt with Fidel Castro on it and proclaim that Cuba is more free than America. First of all, you're an idiot. You have no clue what you're actually saying. But that is a questionable move. If you have called police modern-day slave catchers, if you have worn socks depicting law enforcement as pigs, do you really think it's very smart to show up for the workout that you've been begging for 3 years in a Kunta Kinte t-shirt? This happened, if you don't know. And if you're out there and you're like, I don't know who Kunta Kinte. Kunta Kinte was the slave in Alex Haley's Roots. So Colin Kaepernick, who made $100 million playing football-ish, is showing up in a t-shirt saying that he is a slave. And I think there's a lot of people out there right now listening to us going into work who are going to make a lot less than $100 million that are saying, man, if that's slavery, show me where to sign up. And you change the location of your workout at the last minute, meaning that 17 different teams that were going to show up and watch you work out instead don't end up there. To me, this is indicative of the fact that Colin Kaepernick doesn't want a job in this league. He doesn't. He wants to be a martyr. He wants to be a social justice warrior. He wants to be a guy who is not employable, because the minute he gets signed in the NFL and becomes a backup, all of his martyrdom is gone. Then you're just one of 60-some-odd dudes who hopes to be a quarterback one day. And I know there were 8 different teams that were willing to jump through the hoops to actually go see this workout. And according to Adam Schefter, those teams were the Chiefs, the Jets, the Eagles, the Titans, the Bills, the 49ers, which is interesting in and of itself, considering that he opted out of his contract with them, the Redskins, and the Lions. Now, I think it's possible that Greg Roman, who is right now setting up Lamar Jackson to such success and previously was the coordinator who led to Colin Kaepernick's greatest moments, I think it's possible he could get a head job in the offseason, maybe even with the Redskins, and possibly he could go and try to sign Colin Kaepernick. But I think this is instructive of the larger universe and an important lesson for a lot of people to learn. If you want a job, you have to behave in a manner that reflects that you want that job. And to me, the way that Colin Kaepernick performed and behaved on Saturday is indicative that he doesn't actually want a job. And I think this entire circus, which continues around Colin Kaepernick, oh, I'm not going to show up at the location the NFL wanted me to be. Oh, I want a camera crew there to film all this workout. This guy is all for the attention now, not to actually be a quarterback. And I don't know who's advising him. I think we have a few cuts of Colin Kaepernick talking, and it's rare that he actually speaks, so I want to play some of these. But to me, if I'm an owner, if I am a GM, if I am a coach, the way that this workout went down confirms everything that I already believed about Colin Kaepernick, which is this guy's not interested in being a quarterback in the league. And whoever advised him to show up in a freaking Kunta Kinte t-shirt, I mean, that would be, if I were an owner, a deal breaker for me. And that's before you've already called one of the owners of the Baltimore Ravens a slave master, effectively, and called Ray Lewis and Uncle Tom. I'm not willing to sign him because I'm thinking, okay, what's going to come? What's the other shoe that's going to drop? Because I don't think this guy wants to play quarterback. And why would I bring in a backup that is going to create this kind of story for my franchise and for my team every time he decides to wear a t-shirt? I mean, this is just mind-numbing to me that you would equate yourself with one of the most famous slaves in American history. It's just wild. What audio cuts do we have, Danny G? Let's hit these of the Kaepernick workout.
I've been ready for 3 years. I've been denied for 3 years. We all know why I came out here, showed it today in front of everybody. We have nothing to hide. So we're waiting for the 32 owners, the 32 teams, Roger Goodell, all of them to stop running. Stop running from the truth. Stop running from the people. We're out here. We're ready to play. We're ready to go anywhere. My agent, Jeff Nally, is ready to talk to any team, interview with any team at any time. I've been ready. I'm staying ready. And I'll continue to be ready. We'll be waiting to hear from Roger Goodell, the NFL, the 32 teams. We'll let you know if we hear from them. Ball's in their court. We're ready to go. Our biggest thing with everything today was making sure we had transparency of what went on. We weren't getting that elsewhere, so we came out here. It's important that y'all are here. Y'all been attacked for the last 3 years. Y'all continue to be attacked. We appreciate what y'all do. We appreciate you being here today. We appreciate the work you do for the people and telling the truth. That's what we want in everything.
Look, I am of the belief, and you guys know if you listen to this show, that I am a second, third, fourth chance kind of guy. If you are capable of playing football at a high level, or any sport for that matter, I'm not going to hold, when Michael Vick got arrested for dogfighting, I was like, as soon as he gets out of jail, I think he should be able to go play, right? Even Antonio Brown, I think, is an idiot, and I think social media has rendered him almost unemployable. But if there were a team that believed that his talent was good enough, that it overcame his problems, go sign him. But when you hear those limited cuts even from Colin Kaepernick, does this sound like a guy who wants a job? You may have had success in one job, and there are a lot of people out there listening to us right now that lost jobs, and in order to build themselves back up, you have to go take a job that might be of a lower status than you think you deserve. You may not even like the fact that you have to do that. In fact, most people don't, but that's how many of us live in America today. Colin Kaepernick has been begging for an opportunity, he says, to come back into the league for 3 years. The NFL makes an unprecedented offer to him to allow him to have a public workout for every NFL team to attend. Kaepernick's people get upset about the way that workout is structured. They move it to a new location. In the process, they lose 2/3 of the teams that were going to show up and watch the workout. And again, you show up in a Kunta Kinte shirt and challenge the NFL. I find Colin Kaepernick to be an incredibly unsympathetic character at this point. And frankly, I believe he doesn't want a job. Do you guys buy into that? Danny G, do you buy into Colin Kaepernick actually wanting a job based on the way he behaved at this workout?
I'm not sure. I've been trying to keep an open mind to both sides of this. I read opinion pieces over the weekend, and Mike Jones of the USA Today, I took a snapshot of a couple paragraphs that I thought were interesting. He said, nothing good comes out of Saturday. Nobody won. Kaepernick supporters will praise him for showing that he does indeed still belong in this league with his passing because of the strength of those throws that are on video now. They'll view him as heroic for staging his own workout, and they'll accuse Commissioner Roger Goodell of contriving a plan to embarrass Kaepernick and rid the NFL of this polarizing figure once and for all. Meanwhile, critics will tell a far different version. They'll accuse Cap of hijacking the day to further command the spotlight. They'll cluck their tongues and say, "I told you so." Both views are far too simplistic and one-sided. This was bad on both ends. There's blame to go around.
I disagree completely that there's any blame about the NFL.
Well, I think because it was this late in the season.
It doesn't matter.
And,
Look, if you
and on a Saturday, what I'm confused with is why did Kaepernick come out and tweet that he was looking forward to seeing coaches
he's not
and
smart
general
dude.
managers
He's not
there.
a smart dude. Let's just start there.
Even if Quinn had a home game, he wouldn't have been there on a Saturday. So none of that made any sense to me at all.
Kaepernick is not gotten good advice. And frankly, every time I hear him talk, he further confirms that the fact that we have given him legitimate attention for political opinions is absurd. Right? Like, he is not an educated person when it comes to politics, and that's fine. A huge percentage, and history and everything else that matters, a huge percentage of people in America are not. The difference is he has been treated as a legitimate figure by the media because they want him to be significant. But let's just take a step back here in general. If you want a job, and lots of people out there want a job, if you want a highly competitive job, and you are given an opportunity to potentially get that job, to me, you show up and take that job opportunity as seriously as you possibly can. Colin Kaepernick, to me, didn't do that. And this is, and I think that's why you've seen Jay-Z basically take shots at him. It's why you've seen a lot of people who have been in his corner now start to take shots at him. Every little thing is not going to be perfect that Colin Kaepernick wants. The NFL did something unprecedented for him to give him an opportunity to show his talents for the entirety of the league. And short of an NFL owner deciding to sign him just to get all of the praise that he would get from the sports media, like, Dan Snyder is the most ripped owner in the history of the NFL, maybe. Right? I mean, I think you can make the argument that Dan Snyder is the most ripped owner in the history of the NFL. If he signed Colin Kaepernick, and Dwayne Haskins is a joke, he's going to have to bring in a new coach. I think we could have a Dwayne Haskins as Josh Rosen type situation. But if Dan Snyder signed Colin Kaepernick, everybody would suddenly turn to praising him. But this performance, short of something like that, where an owner does this entirely for his own benefit, there's no way that any team that is legitimately trying to win games, in my opinion, could justify signing Colin Kaepernick after the way he behaved at this workout. Dub, do you disagree? Or anybody else, like Eddie Garcia, Roberto, anybody like, I'm rooting for Colin Kaepernick now after having seen this?
Well, his decision just with the shirt alone, I think pretty much every owner would probably cross him off the list just because of that, because the main reason he's not on a team is because of the huge distraction it would be as a backup quarterback. So,
and he has to know that. So why in the world would you insist on your own film crew and show up in an inflammatory T-shirt like that designed to draw more attention to everything other than your football ability?
Yeah, because he cares more about being an activist than he does a football player.
That's the only thing I can take away. I mean, is that what I don't see how you can have any other conclusion based on the way this thing went down.
I don't disagree with that. And as you've said before, and I always kind of screw it up, but when your problems outweigh your talent, no one's going to sign you. And his problems usually are off the field issues. In this case, it's him caring more about things other than football. And if you're an owner and you're a coach, all you care about is the football part of it. So why bring in a guy who may or may not have the talent to play in the NFL if he's going to come with all this other stuff?
Yeah, and I wonder who's advising him, because
himself, I think.
Yeah, I mean, but the Kunta Kinte T-shirt to me is just so mind-bogglingly stupid, right? And so is the film crew. And so is feuding with the NFL over where the workout's going to take place. Like, you are a sideshow. If you have the reputation justified for being a sideshow, then you need to do the exact opposite of be a distraction and a sideshow at your workout. Show up. Don't draw attention to yourself. Don't demand a film crew. Perform. Answer all the questions. Don't appear to challenge the league and the owners after you've already filed a lawsuit against them, by the way. I don't think that there's any coach or GM or owner with a functional brain, unless they're like Dan Snyder and their team stinks already and you just want to get praised by the media, that could possibly justify signing Colin Kaepernick now. I think he has completely killed his NFL career with the performance he put out there on Saturday.